it's the Young Guys Pod. You'll see NFL Spread Pod. No reason to call it that. It's the Young Guys Pod because me, Holden Kushner, just Holden, me and Title and Rubio are back together. This is wonderful. They're 1 year older. Title already with more facial hair. Rubio still has not gone through puberty. Gentlemen, it's wonderful to see you once again. This time we're on video. Hello, Greg Swinehart, a.k.a. RubioDimes. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing so good. Wearing my SpongeBob shirt. It's true that I probably am still in the adolescence of my adulthood, but I am very excited to be back with you guys. And it was one thing that I was looking forward to all summer long was being back with you two, especially you, Holden. The whole time I was like, man, I can't wait to get back on the pod with you and hear your ridiculous takes, like paying for, sex. But, it's just amazing.
Yeah. Title, hello. How are you?
Good. Saw you yesterday. Been on MLB show. I haven't had as many shows with you this year as last year. I mean, you're doing some NBA, MLB, and stuff. So I'm excited to hear your voice more. And Rubio, he helped me make some good money in preseason NFL this year. He's been behind the scenes. Yeah. No, he's been printing. You must not have played.
I did play.
Ray McLeod, man. One slate.
That was a great call. Ray McLeod. No, I fucking love the preseason, by the way. It was very profitable. Nice job, Greg Swiner. Nice job with that. But yes, the preseason is – I feel like I'm more successful in the preseason than I am in the regular season, to be honest with you. Especially that first week. Like every year, the first week of the preseason seems to work out very well. But that's over. We got real games that we're going to go to. A couple things I need to ask you guys. What's cool these days, guys? What's cool, RubioDimes? Is SpongeBob cool? I mean, I'm an old guy. I basically just stay in my place all the time. What happens in the real world these days for a child such as yourself?
TikTok dances nonstop, making Instagram pictures for my dog, giving him his own account. Really all the rage, nowadays, just social media for the most part. But and obviously, it's still cool that you guys don't think so. Soccer's still the best. It's growing in the U.S. United States sucks.
Yeah, you know what? Your great grandpa probably said the same thing because every generation says the same thing and it never gets bigger. Never. It never happens. Rubio, did you go on any picnics with your lady this summer?
It was funny. She said about like a month ago, she's like, I want to go on a picnic. And I said, I can't be clowned again. I can't be clowned on the shows and all that. So you know what we did? We went on a picnic. Anyway, we did one this summer. It's nice. It's cozy, especially with fall right around the corner. Don't be surprised if there's like a couple more.
Did you propose to her yet?
No. Hey, I am going to London though in January.
Yeah,
so,
you're totally marrying this chick. Unless she cheats on you, you're totally gonna marry her.
Oh, chill. What is this?
I'm just being honest with you. You're headed for marriage.
That is the worst mojo you could possibly say.
Well, maybe you deserve it. Maybe you deserve it, Rubio.
Dick move, Holden. Dick move.
Dick move? No. See, you guys are so sensitive. I forgot. I got to tone it down.
Hey, unless you crash your car, you're gonna live a long life. Like I don't know. It's just like you're putting that bad mojo on me.
Dude hit us from behind and then hit and run. That messed me up. That one. So no picnics.
That's what's going on with your head. The whole time I was wondering, it was that car accident.
That ain't what's hurting my head, man. Trust me, I wish that was it. So tell me something, Title. What's cool? What's cool in Title's world these days? Just NBA, drinking beer, hanging out, moving to different countries or states. What's going on with the kids these days?
My life is pretty simple. I play DFS and I go out to the bars with friends and have fun on the weekends. Yeah. It's pretty much I play MMA, I play NFL, NBA, MLB, do content shows. So that's busy enough. And then I like to have fun on the weekends too. So that's pretty much my life. And now with football, it's going to be even better. Saturday nights, you go out, you wake up early Sunday mornings, eat good food. And we got I'll be with my college boys, 4 TVs, 5 TVs all set up, watch every single game. They all play DFS. I got them into it. So I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun this week.
How's your lady situation? Do you have anyone to take on a picnic?
Anyone? I mean, I do, nice. But I don't really.
Don't put that bad mojo on him.
No, I would never do that to Title. Just you. Title. I would never say that to Title. I want all the success in the world for Title, Rubio.
I appreciate that.
I love the kid. You, on the other hand, I mean, listen, keep you away from him, Rubio. Just keep you away from him.
Yeah, he was going to do that either way. And I would too.
Yeah, trust me. That was never on the docket.
Were you guys alive when Derek Jeter was playing baseball?
Yes, it's not that Peter Swift guy or whatever G. Risen was talking about. Yes, we know.
It was terrific.
Scott Brocious, yes.
Hit one of the most famous home runs ever in baseball. So let me ask you, did you know that Derek Jeter was a wonderful cocksmith? He was a man that had many a woman. Rubio, you're shaking your head, yes. Of all the beautiful women that Derek Jeter gave gift bags to. I'm going to read off some of these women. I just want to know if you know who these women are. Not which one was the best look. Do you know who Mariah Carey is?
Oh, yeah. All I Want for Christmas Is You.
That's what you know her for. Vita Guerra. Do you know her? Okay, that's fine. She's a big.
I'm not going to know most of these.
You don't know Vita Guerra?
No.
Oh, my God. But did you know the first one that I asked?
Yes.
Mariah Carey? Okay. Yeah. All right. So you guys are 1 for 1. All right, Title, this is for you. Do you know Hannah Jeter?
No.
You heard of her?
Related to Derek, but no, I know nothing.
Yeah,
no, I don't.
Model. Okay, let's go to the next one. Jessica Biel. Have you guys heard of Jessica Biel?
Is that Biel?
Yeah, something Biel or Biel.
Is she an actress, right?
Yeah, she's absolutely drop dead gorgeous. Yeah, a little too old for you guys now, probably in her 30s, but yeah, just a beautiful woman.
None of this surprised me at all. It's Derek Jeter. Actually, hey, a fun little story. For the Bucs at the Deer District in the finals, Alex Rodriguez got out of his limo or something with a bunch of security and woman from like a foot away from me. It was him. He had his sports coat on. He had his tan, and he was popular. Everyone was running around trying to get by him. It was a pretty big scene. So Derek Jeter, A-Rod, made me think of it. One of the closest I've been to a celebrity like that.
I will take Jeter over A-Rod any day. Not as a player.
Well, it's not like he was talking to me or anything.
By the way, you were there. You could smell his cologne.
Yeah,
perfectly put on. Jessica Biel married to Justin Timberlake now, so
I think that's where I know her from. Not from
Jeter's sloppy seconds. Adriana Lima.
Nope.
No. Minka Kelly.
Megan Kelly.
Minka. Megan Kelly was the lady on like Fox and then Scarlett Johansson. Have you guys heard of her?
Yeah, definitely.
Nope.
Yeah, you've not heard of Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah, the actress.
No, I'm not. Like I literally tell like wow. My bought like you ask me questions outside of sports. Really, even nowadays, like things that should be pretty common.
Yeah,
this is weird. This one's weird.
I'm telling you.
One of the most gorgeous women in the world in plenty of big-time movies. Have you never watched movies?
I really don't watch that many movies. I'm not going to lie to you.
Right.
What's her name? I'll type it on. I'll type it on Google. Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. She was.
Right when I typed in Scarlett, it popped up. Yeah.
She was married to Ryan Reynolds for 3 years. I didn't know that.
Hot as shit when she was in her early.
Yeah, she's 36. I mean,
she's gorgeous.
You still got to know her. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, there's probably other names that you could find more popular that I don't know that you guys would be even more shocked.
11 to 12-year-old you saw her on the screen and realized you don't just like toys anymore.
I'm telling you, I don't watch too many movies and I don't remember a lot of actresses' names.
Did you ever watch the show Robot Chicken?
No.
That was like 2005. How old were you?
I was watching 2005. Besides sports, I was watching. What was 2005?
I
don't know. It's not Bob the Builder and stuff like that, but I mean,
what were you watching,
SpongeBob. SpongeBob, yeah.
SpongeBob.
Me too.
2004 was when the movie came out. That was the big one. What else did you watch when you were a kid, Rubio? Besides for SpongeBob, SquarePants, and then we'll move on and we'll get to where you need to be with the football stuff.
A lot of Cartoon Network, like Fairly Odd Parents too on Nickelodeon. Jimmy Neutron, that kind of growing up, and Blue is Imaginary Friends, and Dexter's Laboratory. That's another one. I'm a guy who watched a shit ton of TV because my parents, they love me, they care for me, but it was so much easier for them to sit me in front of a TV than do anything else.
Lazy.
No, wait, they might listen to this. I love my mom and dad.
You should love your mom and dad. turn into a beautiful young man that loves going on picnics with a woman he's going to marry, unless. So RPS NFL 15. You know what, RubioDimes? What do you know about this little deal we got going on, RPS NFL 15? Just let's see how good of an
off your
employee you are.
lifetime subscription. If you just sign up before the NFL season, 15% off for life, not just 1 week, 1 season, for life. As long as you maintain that active subscription, it's the best deal out there by far.
Title, would you like to add to this? Oh, thank you, Rubio, for being very mean.
You did absolutely perfect. I've said you and I have gave that spiel so many times.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad Rubio did it perfect too. Yeah. So that's all Rubio, I got to add.
What are a couple things you like about RPS and our NFL coverage? What are some of the things you do besides for your own stuff?
Oh, I actually do like the Wishbone. I do listen to that, so I'm going to listen to that on my way there. I love the live shows. It's always something that, I was watching actually a little bit of the JSU show, JSU BigT and ODV, and was it JJ, right?
JJ.
Yep. So I was watching them kind of, leading up to lock and stuff. I just think the amount of content we have is just absurd. And it's amazing that you can literally get content for any stretch of games or any slate and stuff. And that's what makes us special.
Do you use that much passion and energy and knowledge in your cell phone spiel when you're at work? Because I would not buy a cell phone from you.
No, I basically, in my cell phone spiel, it's nice. It's consistent. It makes me enough money. It makes me $5.5K a month. And then it's like, I don't tell them to go fuck themselves, but it's more or less like they got to pay me a little bit.
Got to pay you a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
This phone sucks, but you still got to buy it because yours is broke.
Buy it. Yeah.
Fuck you. No.
What a rude individual you are. So let's go position by position like we did last year. Have you guys looked at the slate yet? I mean, after all, it's only been out for a month. Come on. How many times have you built dummy lineups?
I was on this show yesterday with Mango and Hoop and myself, so I had to look at it. That was my first time though. I'm like Big T. Like MLB slate, I don't look at it until 15 minutes before I come on a show. NBA, I don't look at all before I come on the show. Yeah. I just
know when you listen to this show that Title's just working on massive amounts of research.
And no, because I have the show on Tuesdays now per Wednesday, I'll actually be prepared. Usually, it was my first time looking at the slate getting on here, but okay. That talking it through is how it works better for me. Everyone's different.
Yeah. So let's go to quarterback, and we'll do the main slate. That's where we're gonna go. Title, FanDuel, DraftKings. Let's cover them both. I know you play a lot more. Do you play a lot more FanDuel still?
No, I'm even now. Pretty much more DraftKings probably because I can get more action over there. I'm both sites heavy now.
It took you long enough.
It took my bank. I mean, I had to expand my bankroll, and I started. I was more comfortable with FanDuel, but now, yeah, DraftKings is more people play on DraftKings, so we'll probably talk more about it. But I'll have both pulled up.
Okay, so I want you to talk about 3 quarterbacks in particular. It doesn't have to be in any price range in particular. We got Mahomes and Murray and Al. We got studs up and down. We got guys you could save on. Sam Darnold was the guy we talked about on the Picking Winners show with me and Keg and Mangone. So give me your 3 favorite quarterbacks this week and why.
I always like paying up at quarterback. I talked about a little on the Tuesday show. I shouldn't say always. It depends on the slate. But on this slate, because pricing has been out for over a month now, or about a month, there's just a lot of soft pricing and mispriced players because the preseason was going on and things changed. For example, in New Orleans, Marquez Callaway is now one of the best plays, at least cash games wise. He's way too cheap at 3.4K. They didn't even know Marquez Callaway was going to have a big role in the offense. They didn't know if it was going to be Taysom or Jameis starting. And it all broke the way, and now Marquez Callaway is one of the best. So you can punt there. Kyle Pitts is only 4.4K, one of the most athletic tight ends who's in a pretty good matchup, and just a severe discount from other top-tier guys. So, there's certain chalk that's lower price. Elijah Moore is mid-price. Terrence Marshall. There's just so many good plays down low where I don't think you need a really punt quarterback this week. I think it's fine, but I'm going to say my 3 favorite quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and then maybe I would say like a point per dollar, I would say a Darnold or a Teddy Bridgewater or something. But I really want Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, at least in cash games this week. I think Kyler Murray's a perfect tournament pivot. FanDuel, I really like this Jacksonville Jaguars stack this week that we can get to.
You're the only other person that is with me on this.
I hope you were gonna remember last year, first week. JSU and I were the only ones on Packers. Aaron Rodgers 2%. Now it's you on
listen,
Jaguars.
like every show, they're like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to talk about the Jaguars in the Texans.
Love them this week.
But the
in a dome, bad defense.
Let me tell you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Lawrence and maybe even pairing it with I know a quarterback, running back, but with Robinson and Chenault.
It has to be. I am with you, Lawrence Chenault. But the reason I like it on FanDuel a lot is James Robinson's going to be pretty owned. So I'm not going to play him in my stack. I'll get leverage going with the passing game. Game theory type talk.
You think he'll be
hope that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. On FanDuel with how much touchdown upside or touchdown equity matters over there, and his price is only 5.9K. Like McCaffrey's 10-4. That's $4,500 difference over there. Like he's just priced wrong.
So you're not going – if you're not going to go with Robinson, then you're going to need a second receiver. So do you make multiple lineups and switch in and out Chark and Jones or what? Or you just going
I would pick one, yeah. I'm running more single entry because I do play tournaments in NFL. Yeah. I'll run one on FanDuel and then 1 through 3 on DraftKings. I'll pick one of that. I don't think you need, because I'm doing the 222, 500 people. I'm not convinced that you absolutely need a double receiver. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. I know large field GPPs, you absolutely should with the running back. Only 500 people, when a lot of people are going to be playing cash and stuff. I don't know if you need to absolutely double stack it or not on FanDuel, but it's Laviska, my favorite, and then my running back's going to be Brandon Cooks, which I don't know who else you would run back with.
I know. I'm just wondering if you need to run back. Like, hey, that was it. It was last night on the Wishbone. I was talking about it. Uncle T never says anything nice anymore, so that's fine. I gotta just brush off.
He wins too much money.
He's on a heater, man. What am I gonna say to him too? Oh, you're Bush again. There's only so far that can go. He doesn't. It's one day we're gonna get him to admit to it though. So I don't know what we were talking about. Title. It sounded like
the run back. You said something about the wishbone and the run back. I still think you need to run it back in tournaments.
Right. So I said the run back, and then. They go, well, you got to have a run back if they're going to go one way or the other. I suppose. I wonder what Jordan Akins is going to be. Now that's a deep dive right there.
That's a Millie Maker type
position. And I'm talking out loud here. So you're basically going to need 2 touchdowns out of the guy, or like 60 yards. You can't have like a 25-yard, 1 touchdown, 1 catch performance. You got to have more than that. So he's out. It's one of the 3 receivers. Chenault, and then
Chenault's my favorite.
And Chark. Okay, me too. RubioDimes, let's do it. Let's do your quarterbacks here, buddy. Now we're going to do
exactly
tournaments
right.
with you. Tournament.
Yeah. I think Title's exactly right, though. When you look at the slate, individually, you have really cheap wide receivers, and you have some running backs who are even underpriced as well. So the fact that, like, you can look at it and think, yeah, it's so easy to spend up at quarterback, especially when you have 3 of the best quarterbacks just above 7K with Murray, Allen, and Mahomes. What I'm going to do is kind of look a little bit different just because I like 2 wideouts or receiving options from the Atlanta Falcons, the Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts of the bunch. And it's so easy to fit in Matt Ryan with them against the Philadelphia team that, for lack of a better word, will be shit this year. And I am actually looking forward to, stacking, Ridley and Pitts and Ryan throughout the season, not only because, they're going to be implied, trailing most games and stuff, but they're actually implied nearly 26 points. So that's kind of a place where I'm looking at, especially on the Atlanta side of things. The problem is, who do you run it back with from Philly? You can look at the chance of a double tight end situation with Pitts and maybe like a Goddard or Ertz, but that's kind of nasty and gross. Or even a Miles Sanders, which he probably is not comparable to many running backs on this slate at all. Another quarterback that I'm kind of looking at too, just kind of, trying to pick out a little bit of some darts below 6K, because I think I probably will spend up. But Ryan Fitzpatrick, I'm actually very hopeful for the Washington football offense this year, and I really like McLaren to pair him to pair Fitzpatrick with. And the biggest thing, I think if they go down early, this could be a game where they're chucking the ball a ton, and you can easily get Antonio Gibson there to have a nasty Washington stack just in case. Where if they're trailing a lot, you can see a plentiful amount of catches going for Gibson and McLaren, a bunch of yards for Fitzpatrick, and it's much easier to find a run back on the Chargers side of things, especially with Ekeler being so, talked up in a way this season. But I know he is actually hurt, though. So, there's something to kind of keep tabs on with Ekeler, especially if he's hurt. It's so easy to find a running back because you can probably plug in the backup there with either Roundtree or Kelly, which they're both kind of gross, though.
Well, Justin Jackson kind of changes it.
That's true.
It changed the whole slate.
It changes everything. And I know it's a really tough matchup, so you're not going to even consider playing him in a cash or anything, but I would think he's going to get some volume, more than half the touches in the backfield.
Yeah, and that's the big thing.
We're not sure he's out yet.
No, we're not, but he worked on the side and it's a hamstring. So we're not sure it's out yet, but you better have a plan, because if and when that news comes down, then the whole thing gets turned upside down.
Rubio missed my favorite person to stack fits with this week.
Who?
Logan Thomas.
Yeah. There's tight ends. He's on my radar. I like the mid-tier tight ends, especially with Pitts and Logan Thomas.
The pivot.
Even look at the Philly side.
The pivot from Pitts, he's going to be so chalk. That's why I do like Logan Thomas right in that range. But their tight ends loaded. Kittle, it's this whole week. I mean, the studs are out. Obviously, it's week 1. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, and there's another reason where you can even kind of make the assumption that double tight end, as gross as it sounds, but I'm probably definitely going to be 3 running back most of the time, just because I think there's such an ample amount of spend up, and we can easily get Calf and Cook. And I know the Washington football team total is not too great, but that's just kind of an under the radar stack. And one of the other mentions that I'll kind of throw out there, just because of his running ability, is Jalen Hurts. I know he's not the most accurate passer in the world, but you can actually run him naked in some games too. And they're going to be likely going to be trailing. I mean, they're underdogs by nearly 4 points. So I think Jalen Hurts is something to look at, but I'm still with Title. I think I'll probably spend up and really kind of, and I fathom Josh Allen quite a bit.
I just don't think there's much more to say because, Title, you were talking about Mahomes and Allen and Cash. If you played them in a tournament, who would you be pairing those guys with? Is it Hill or Kelsey or both? And then on the other side with Allen, is that just a Diggs thing? Who's the third guy you're throwing in the mix?
Yeah, that's the hard thing. I mean, it's hard to get different. You said who? Who's the other
Sanders?
one? Yeah, Sanders would be my favorite because I don't think he's really going to get owned. I did max out best ball. I did 150 best balls. I'm very high. I mean, this whole Bills offense, I mean, they just don't really have a running game. They're not afraid to sling it 50 times a game. Josh Allen has a lot of goal line upside, design running plays. I'm just going to be playing Josh Allen as much as I can this year. I think he's going to be quarterback 1 actually over Mahomes when it's all said and done. Ooh. But fantasy wise, Mahomes is definitely better, but fantasy wise, it would be Allen and Diggs for me, or it'd be Allen, Diggs, Sanders. And then if Mahomes, Tyreek, I wouldn't even mind. It would be Kelsey for sure, because his touchdown upside at the tight end position, he's not going to be the highest owned. So Kelsey for sure, but I wouldn't mind maybe going Hardman over Tyreek. I'd have to look at that. Whatever fits. Like
Kyler Murray to win the MVP. He's so set up for me this year.
You're Kyler, I'm Josh Allen, and I like both.
I love Josh Allen too. And then the other guy, I don't think the Cowboys can be good enough as a team for Dak, but God, that guy's just, if you're talking about fantasy, he's going to put up some monster numbers. And I think it starts this week too. And their team total was 20.5. 20.5 when we did the show with Keg and Mangone today. Look that up. It's DFS and Bets Talk. Pick and winners is what we call it. We talked about this. And it was a good conversation too. So I'll let you guys listen to that and go back to it. So Kyler Murray, Hopkins, who else?
Rondale Moore.
Are you sure?
His upside.
I know.
And what is he, 3K?
Yeah, he's nothing.
You're stacking with Kyler, you take your freebie that has the 100-yard upside. He's a stud.
You don't care. You just don't care that he's going to be owned in a Kyler stack. He gets everything you need in there.
And then that's where, because Mahomes and Allen are going to be more popular. So you're stacking Kyler. Hopkins is going to be lower owned than Devontae and Diggs. So the stack's not going to be crazy. And then you can, there's 3 pieces that still won't be crazy owned. Yeah, in the Kyler stacks, it might be a little bit, but run a secondary stack that you hope's different than other Kyler stacks, and you should be fine.
I like Julio in a run back there.
Especially AJ Brown and Julio, 2 of my favorites this week.
Something's wrong with AJ, man. He's not practicing. And
I think he'll play. Yeah,
I hope
you got to monitor that. But his ownership will be really down because of it. I love those 2.
But that's the problem, because I love Julio this week, and I think that it's going. If Brown misses or he's seriously injured, his stock's just going to go.
That'll suck for you.
Rubio, you got anything on that game?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good game. I mean, Arizona is always going to have that high pace. So, I mean, you can look at Tennessee and Arizona as a game to stack even, and obviously the total's pretty high. I'm a big fan of A.J. Brown. I'm kind of on the fence about Julio, even though I do like A.J. Green, who's like, came in the same draft class and stuff. But Julio Jones is near 7K, and he didn't really showcase a ton last year for the most part. I know this is going to be a little bit better environment. He's going to be one of the, clear two guys, in the receiving options. But I think if you're going to look at it individually from a similar ownership, from Brown to Jones, only a $300 difference. And A.J. Brown has shown that he has, rapport with Tannehill. That is just someone that I think, if A.J. Brown plays, you just got to go him over Julio, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. Let's get to the running back position. The running back position, very interesting because we just got all the studs. Just like you said, a quarterback title, we got the same thing at running back. Rubio, I'm going to go to you first. CMC is back. The guy scored on 6 of his 76 touches last year. Think about how efficient that is. This guy's scoring 1 or 2 times every game. He's back. He's taking on the Jets. Dalvin, Derrick Henry, Kamara. I kind of feel like there's a line below everybody else as far as the salaries and the player there, but you had to pick one of the big guys. Who is it?
McCaffrey. I hope people forget how good he is. He is the best running back, and there's a reason why he was 1.1 in every single fantasy draft that people did this year. It's not just the touchdown equity, but it's the fact that he's probably going to average, 7 to 8 catches out of the backfield. And people, probably won't forget, but if he comes anywhere near below 20% or something like that, I consider that a big win for anyone who plays him. But you can't hate on the fact that you got Dalvin Cook, who is in a great spot of himself against Cincinnati, and they'll likely lead the game for the most part. And then obviously people hyped up Kamara, and the only big question mark really about in the stud range, because I don't think I'm playing Jonathan Taylor at 8K ever, but Derrick Henry, he's in a good game environment for the most part. Touches should still be there. And I would worry about his body over the course of the season, but, he likely won't get hurt in week 1. And those touches will probably still be really high, and it'll be a great tournament pivot. But I still think, if you're going to be going anyone other than McCaffrey or Cook or even Kamara, then you're, kind of, grasping at straws for the most part.
So CMC is number 1. Title, how about you with those big guys?
I'm Kamara number 1 this week. I get the savings. He's 8.6. McCaffrey's 9.5. So it's 900. It goes a decent ways on this slate. And now without Latavius Murray in town, this Packers defense is no good. I'm a Packers fan, friend, and that doesn't know. People do know though, but I see on Twitter all the time from Rob, the beat writer, how Aaron Rodgers, obviously it's Aaron Rodgers, but absolutely carving up this defense every single drive. Like, they look bad. And I think Kamara, with Jameis Winston, who's definitely a big upgrade to this offense, I think Kamara absolutely has his way and puts up 2 touchdowns, 100-plus yards. He gets those catches built into. So I think him and McCaffrey are right there, but I think they're pretty much raw points, pretty much even this week. So I'll take my 900 savings, but I definitely love CMC too. It's hard to argue him.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. There's just reasons for every single one of those guys. There's big reasons for every single one of those guys. Who are the rest of the running backs you're interested in, Rubio? I'm just going to give you my one guy. We know Raheem Mostert is not injured, and Raheem Mostert is my guy. He's going to score a touchdown. I've given you the Tyreek Hill of running backs thing because of the speed. For me, Mostert, go bet the anytime touchdown on the bet side. I think he has a very nice week against the Detroit Lions and at least one big chunk play that results in a touchdown. So that's my guy, Raheem Mostert.
That's your favorite player. You said him last year.
If he's not hurt.
I know you have to have your guys. That's your favorite player. If you guys didn't listen last year.
He pays off, man. The dude just busts off 80-yarder every game. So, Rubio, where are you going here, buddy?
I actually really like that because, I don't want to forget that Detroit could be the worst team in the NFL this year, and the fact that the 49ers are going to be a run-first team. You don't think the Lions – what was that face for? You don't think the Lions could be the worst?
No, because – and you know what? Now you guys can see my facial reactions, and I wish you couldn't because, there's just – it's like I really don't mean what I'm doing anyway. It just comes out. Who do I not like? No, not at all. The Texans are 1-16 this year.
Fair enough. And, the 49ers should be able to run all over them. And the 49ers are also going to be a run-first team. So despite Trey Sermon being there, Mostert has that 80-yard, 80-yard touchdown ability, which I always like. But for me, I'll look right above him. and I'm sure a lot of people will. Antonio Gibson, who's supposed to be CMC-esque this year, and you get him at sub 6K, and if he's even going to be close in the area of targets where he can get like 7 to 8 touches in the game through the air, it's going to be tough to really kind of fade him at this price. But I can see a lot of skeptics saying, well, he hasn't really proven it in the past, and why should we believe coach speak? I totally get that. I can see the merit for a fade, but I like to believe coach speak. I hate it when coaches lie, but I really think, Fitzpatrick being there as well with those checkdowns and a little bit bigger role, I'm all in on Antonio Gibson this week. As far as like the other running backs go, I think it's so much easier to spend up at the running back position than it is wide receiver. And that is something I'm probably going to be doing. I'll probably have at least like 2 stud running backs, and that includes Kamara, CMC, and Dalvin Cook. But looking at other options in the mid tier, James Robinson in a great spot against Houston. I think, if he's even going to, command even the usage he had last year. I know there's a little bit of question marks because of Urban Meyer and the Etienne injury and stuff. But I think James Robinson, at least in week 1, could pay dividends, and that nice mid-tier, price option where he'll probably come in at sub 10%. There's definitely something that I can, see the merit behind. I also kind of want to look at Joe Mixon. They're talking about using him more out of the backfield in terms of the air. And, me being a Bengals fan, I can finally hear that, beat reporter talk and stuff. And, these guys, Joe Mixon's supposed to be taking over for third downs. Gio Bernard is not there anymore. Gio Bernard took a lot of usage away from Mixon when he was in, and I think we kind of see Mixon kind of blossom a little bit. And that 6.2, price tag, especially on DraftKings, is definitely something I'm going to be looking at. And one last shout, just because I am a little bit bullish on New England, Damian Harris, if they're going to be running the ball constantly with Mac Jones there, and it's going to be a run first, as it always kind of has been under, Bill Belichick. Even with Brady there, they ran the ball a ton. And I think, Damian Harris could get 20 touches, and especially on FanDuel, where, like you said, touchdown equity is pretty big there. I think Damian Harris could be a nice little sneaky call for two tutties on the slate.
Ooh, tutties. Title, are you a tutty guy or a touchdown guy or a TD guy?
I'm a touchdown guy. TD, touchdown. Tutty, I say it once in a while, I
Tutty
guess.
is like totes. Like the people that say instead of totally, they say totes.
No, that's not
yes,
that bad.
That's that awful. Tutty is that awful.
No,
Tutty. I guess the first time I ever heard that bullshit.
I've said it before, so it's not that bad, Rubio.
The first time. You're old as fuck, Holden.
It's just it's just a stupid word. It doesn't make any tutty. I mean, I knew
you knew yeah. What do you mean? You knew exactly what he was saying.
Yeah, because Rubio would come up with some stupid word like tutty. My God, Rubio. No, love the kid. All right, Titletown. Are there any other running backs you'd like to talk about?
I really like your Mostert call. Actually, I'm going to have him in at least one of my tournament lineups this week, Holden.
You're welcome.
He's going to be really low owned. You get the nuts matchup. I don't think Trey Sermon's I don't think it's going to be 50-50. This is the week 1 stuff that we don't know, and we have to make guesses. Nobody knows.
Here's my concern. Title. Let me just tell you my concern here.
Yeah.
Because they usually try to keep him to about 18 touches.
I mean, and 18
healthy.
Yeah. I mean, so they're in a dome too. Bad Detroit, right game script. I think even if you say 18, I'm gonna play him if he's gonna be 5%. You like him, so, and he's explosive, like you said. I mean, he's a home run hitter, so I do like that call. Wasn't even on him as much before. A couple other guys, I like Gibson, I like Mixon, I like the guys Rubio mentioned. A couple other guys though that he didn't. Mike Davis, he's only 5.4K against Philadelphia. Matt Ryan, I mean, his arm, he's turning into Noodle Arm Jr. Not going to be able to push the ball down the field as much. Mike Davis, we've seen what he does. Doesn't have really competition there in Atlanta. I think he's way too cheap at 5.4K. Chase Edmonds, I think, is very interesting in Arizona at only 4.6K. Don't expect people to really punt down there. Another really explosive guy. Think he has a lot bigger role in the offense this year. Like the pace of that game anyway, like the Cardinals. I wouldn't mind if you go Chase Edmonds a part of your Kyler stack instead of a Rondale Moore or something. So I think he's too cheap. And then one more, Najee Harris, 6.3K. I like that game environment in Buffalo. I don't think they're going to let Roethlisberger drop back 55 times a game like last year. It showed it didn't work. And, I mean, they spent for this guy. They really wanted Najee. They think he's a stud. I think he's a stud. I think he has a good year, and I think it starts against Buffalo. Can use him as a run back that people aren't going to do in the Josh Allen stacks.
All right, guys, we got the Tournament of Champions where Run Pure Sports and DK chipping in some money. for our subscribers and our tournament every year. I absolutely love every year. Year number 2, love it. It's a great tournament. You're going up against the best in the world. You're going up against your other subscribers at RPS. And you can only do it as a subscriber. So that's another great function. The Discord, as Title was talking about, you can get in here and talk with Title and Rubio, Big T's in the chat, JSU, Hoop, all the guys, AP, they're all in the chat. You ask a coordinator a question, unless it's like 3 a.m, they're getting back to you within an hour. And even then you might get an answer too. So that's what we got going on. RPS NFL 50% off monthly subscription for life. You get 15% off every month. This deal ends right before kickoff Sunday morning. So get in now. Wide receiver, Titletown, is it Adams over Hill, Adams over everybody this week, or are you going a different direction?
You know me. I still think it's Davante Adams.
Yep.
It's not with number 12. Unfortunately, this might be the last year, but it's not like it has to be Adams. We just know his target share. We know all that. The competition. Like, I love Diggs. Diggs is my second favorite, but Diggs does have more competition with Beasley, with Sanders. Whereas, Davante Adams really doesn't. So he's my favorite up top. Diggs is number 2. Then the tournament guys, I'm all over AJ Brown this week. If he does play, of course, but that'll keep his ownership down. That's just a grown man. I mean, I think him and Julio are going to have a really good year. Another guy that I'm pretty much just going to play every week. Your most start for you is, do you remember my receiver last year that I play pretty much every week and talk about?
Well,
Rubio,
you have a
Holden.
lot more brain cells. Check back with me in like 25 years. So, no, can you give me a hint? I do want to guess. Give me a hint.
He was a rookie last year. He's my boy. Come on.
Justin Jefferson.
I'll play him pretty much every week. I just think he's that good. So he'll be low owned again. Some of these Cincinnati guys are going to get ownership. The Mixon's going to get a little. T. Higgins is too cheap and stuff. So you can use it as a run back.
Hey, Rubio, let's talk about Minnesota for a second. I mean, Cincinnati, Burrow, he's got the 3 guys over there. We talked about them, but I'm not going to roll with Kirk Cousins, but I think Jefferson and even Thielen have some standalone coverage. You would value, I should say, because both of these guys are in line for a massive workload. And I'm going to throw Thielen in there too. There's no Irv Smith.
For sure.
There's no more, all these guys. So talk to me a little bit about Jefferson and Thielen. Any interest in either one of those guys?
Jefferson, yes, because he's an immense talent and can have, I think 115, 120 catches in a 17-game season if he stays healthy. Thielen, no. Thielen caught 14 touchdowns last year. I don't think that is sustainable at all. And the fact that even with those 14 touchdowns, he only eclipsed 30 like twice, and you're paying $7K, I think you need consistent 30-point upside to really justify it. I know Irv Smith went down and stuff, but I just don't think, I can really, get too excited by Thielen, even if he scores, because he's shown that the upside probably isn't there. And with Jefferson, you can consistently have 30, even 40-point upside that he showed last year. So I think, yes, I am interested, especially with their tight end going down, but not really thrilled with the Thielen side of things.
I'll just say this too. In my lineups that I don't have Mostert, I'm going to go with the other Yak Daddy from San Francisco, Brandon Ayuk. I don't want to throw them both in because both these guys are just home run hitters. And if you go back and look at the game logs from Ayuk last year, you can do the same thing with Thielen. The touchdowns, but he's going to grab more. This dude is so fast and so good and so elusive. Let me see this. This DK, here's this DK game log. All right, from like around week 13, 23, 20, 20, almost 22, 22. He just blows up on big plays. Again, I want explosive guys, 100% early in the season. There's another guy. Title, go down the list here. Who else stands out to you? Maybe down low. Callaway in cash. Is Marquez Callaway just a lock in cash?
Yeah, he's for sure lock in cash. I will say for Ayuk, I absolutely love the talent, but now San Fran's healthy this year. It's where at the end of the year, he had a lot less competition. We got Debo back now, Mostert and Sermon in there. Kittle's now healthy. So, I love the talent with Ayuk. I'm just a little – are you worried about how many mouths they have to feed there? Because that's my concern a little bit. And I wish Trey Lance was the quarterback instead of Garoppolo. I thought that'd be a big boost to their offense for the passing game. But I don't know. Another guy, a couple of guys on there. I mean, this is how cheap some of these guys are. Elijah Moore is $3K. Marvin Jones, 3.6. Terrence Marshall, $3K. Jalen Waddle, 3.6. Rondale Moore, $3K. So I think people are going to pay up at running back, just play one of the cheaper receivers. Callaway's down there. I like all those guys going up a little bit. Jerry Jeudy at 4.8. I think he's going to have a monster year this year. Michael Pittman, I really like. T.Y. Hilton's out. He's only 4.1. I think he's another very good wide receiver. T. Higgins is 4.7. Corey Davis is 4.9. I'm looking at those guys at the 5K and below range. I think there's a lot of really strong options.
Let me throw out another guy. Deep play. All right. I will have him in one of my lineups. If Mecole Hardman is out, and I think Byron Pringle has gotten better hands. Mecole Hardman always dropping passes. If he's out, Byron Pringle is going to get a couple of chances to get the ball in his hands. He will be unowned, absolutely unowned. And if the dude scores a touchdown, then you're right in the mix for where you need to be in a large field tournament. I think it's a large field tournament play. But if Hardman is out, Byron Pringle is my guy. Make fun of it all you want. That's fine. If he gets 4 to 6 targets again against the Browns, he's got to get in the end zone to pay off. But at 3.3 on DraftKings, deep sleeper. What do you got down low, Rubio?
I like the Pringle thing, on Showdown and stuff like that. But I think you're looking at the lower price guys, and you kind of hear what Title says. 6 targets for Pringle would be a great output, right? But then we see guys like Elijah Moore, Marquez Callaway, Michael Pittman, and anyone else who are expected to get 8 to 10 targets a game almost. I think a little on the high side if I'm talking about like Elijah Moore and stuff. But a good game for Pringle is 6 targets. A good, an average game, what we kind of expect for those guys will be around that point. So, I think it is a very much deep GPP play. But for me, I think, especially with it being week one, where we have so much value for the most part, it's not really worth to get too cute. But I kind of like the ambition. And, I think they are the 425 game, right? So we'll definitely have a little bit of him on Showdown, especially. He'll probably be mid-price.
You're right. That is a good Showdown play.
Yeah, and I really like
Hardman's out. Hardman's got to be out, though.
And if he is out and Pringle gets, 10 fantasy points, I'll shotgun a beer next week just for you. Kind of looking at it, the Bengals wide receivers here, I am worried about Burrow. He looked, he hasn't had a great camp at all. Mm-hmm. But if they are going to be down, if he does have a really rusty, first half, that means they're going to be throwing the ball in the second half. And a guy like T. Higgins, who should be the number one guy on the outside, especially with Jamar Chase having his issues catching the ball, I definitely like that call quite a bit, as Title kind of touched on. Laviska Shenault, as we touched on earlier too, especially against a Houston team where, not expected to be very good, especially with Tyrod Taylor as their quarterback. So I can definitely get behind that. Michael Pittman at 4.1K with T.Y. Hilton out. He's one of the, couple of Colts that I'm kind of really interested in for the most part. I think T.Y. Hilton, always being banged up and stuff like that. You can say how it is and stuff, but I think you can really look at Pittman and Campbell this week, and even Zach Pascal a little bit if you're going to kind of look for, cheap pass catchers with double-digit target upside, and especially Pittman, because I think he's just a damn good player for the most part. Lastly, just a wide receiver I want to touch on, actually just a kind of a trio in the 6K range is Terry McLaurin, Deontay Johnson. I do think, Deontay Johnson, that the Steelers are going to be dropping back. I don't think that was just kind of a one-year thing where they're going to drop back 50 times. I just think that Mike Tomlin is a little bit forward thinking on that, front, where running the ball is kind of inefficient as it is. And, he was a guy who went for 2 for, a couple years and stuff where, when they scored a touchdown, he'd go for 2. And I think he realizes that it's so much more valuable, throwing the ball. And I know they kind of drafted Najee Harris kind of high, but I still think that pass first mentality with Najee Harris getting the catches in the backfield and stuff like that will still apply this year.
They did that because they had no running game, not because he's a forward thinker. Their offensive line was absolutely trashed, and they had nobody but Benny Snell behind James Conner. They're going to run the ball there, buddy. They're going to run the ball. And you don't spend a first-round pick on Najee Harris and not give him the ball. And there's another guy. Why didn't we talk about him? Go on, Rubio.
I did. You weren't listening. I talked about Najee Harris.
Yeah, I was right about what I ate what did you eat for dinner tonight, Tyler?
Grilled cheese and tomato soup. First time I've had this meal in probably like 8 years.
Yeah, because like 6-year-olds like that. That's a great meal. I'm having pancakes. I was just writing down a recipe.
With blueberries or chocolate chips?
Yeah. No,
one?
not chocolate chips. Fruit.
Blueberries.
Yeah,
with blueberries in it.
It's going to be great. Rubio, dinner, what'd you have?
I had
McDonald's
brisket and a nice, really well cooked brisket. So we had our fantasy draft, and this guy, he cooks in competitions and stuff like that. He gave me a huge baggie to go home, and since I don't like cooking myself, I threw that in the microwave.
You win the dinner of the night contest.
Thank you.
Man.
Thank you.
Like,
fuck you, Holden. Thank you. So anyway,
so Najee, I'm giving you a compliment. I mean, Title's eating toddler meals. I'm over here eating freaking just toddler meals. You're eating brisket, man, real man.
Yeah, a commonality in this household. I never do mini corn dogs or chicken nuggets or anything like that.
He does all that with McDonald's.
Yeah.
Remember last year?
Nuggets all the time, don't you?
Especially with the air fryer, man. I can buy a large fry, stuff it in the fridge, and then just throw it in the air fryer, and it's good as new.
Yeah, it's great.
And you're still
skinny.
Do
that too, probably. Do you have? Let me guess. Are you a honey with your chicken nuggets guy? Do you use honey as your condiment?
Only with the mustard. Honey mustard, yeah.
Honey mustard. Almost as bad.
Honey? I've never heard
that. I've never heard of straight honey. That's weird.
If you go to McDonald's, if the next time you go to McDonald's, ask them for honey sauce. They'll have the honey for you. I haven't been to McDonald's in 15 years, but I'll guarantee you they still have it.
You want me to do that next week?
I'm not sure they have that.
Find it out for me.
Next week, I'll do it.
Just straight honey with your chicken nuggets.
Yeah, we'll do that.
That's not true. I just took my kids to McDonald's for the first time. They love that place.
That was their first time having McDonald's.
Yeah, because their mom doesn't want them to have McDonald's. I'm like,
how old are they?
6 and 3.
Rubio is over there dying. 6. Wow. Yeah, make them. They have to live a little bit.
That's what McDonald's? I said. I'm like, I'm going there. I don't
get it
anymore. My kids need to go to McDonald's and try this shit.
Yes.
And then
good for
once I said the next time you guys want to go to McDonald's for your birthdays, fine. I'm not letting you go down that slide though. That's like herpes and all sorts of gross stuff on those slides. They never clean them. So don't go in the play set. And Rubio, take note, buddy. Don't go in those play sets at McDonald's. They're dirty.
All right. Bet. Yeah. That and public restrooms. Never go in there.
Public restrooms. So bad. They're just so awful.
I can't go in a public restroom. An employee restroom, yes. A public one, no.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do? You gotta go.
Yeah, what?
You gotta go if you gotta go. What do?
You gotta go. He doesn't know.
Couldn't be me.
You pooped your pants if you don't go to public restrooms.
It's called self-care and knowing the quiet places on campus.
Oh, like halls, like halls where you're going?
Yeah, I was a building manager, so I knew the restrooms that were never used.
Really?
Yeah.
But they're still used. They're just not used as often.
They're not used enough for me to consider it a public. I think it's more.
Have you been like Stevie Boynton and built a lineup in the bathroom?
Nah, it couldn't be me. Winners aren't built in the shitter.
Title, you neither, right?
Back in the day, but I can't do that now.
Back in the day, you can't do two things at once, right?
No, it's just I need a computer now.
Back in the day, though. Tonight, because we're not going to talk about defense. Screw defense. But we can talk about it another time, maybe later in the week on a different show. Tight end. We got 2 of the big 3 up here with Kelsey and Kittle. I know there's a lot of buzz on Hawkinson this week. They're expecting big things out of him. I think all 3 of us absolutely love Logan Thomas this season, the former quarterback. And here we go. Kyle Pitts sitting there at 4-4. Got to go to title first, though, Mr. Rubio. I'm sorry. I got to find out about Robert Tonyan. If it's a Packer, I need to ask Title about it. 100%. They're going up against New Orleans. Fade Tonyan this week, yes or no?
I'm not playing him in this range. I don't think he's a bad play, but I like Logan Thomas more in the range. I think I'm more high. Everyone's hyping him up in camp. Everyone's talking about him. I just don't. Packers have so many weapons. Devontae gets double the share of everyone. Then they have A.J. Dillon, who I think they're really going to use a lot this year. Big 2 running back sets. I mean, Aaron Jones is obviously still there. Then they got a lot of receivers out there.
What are they doing with Cobb?
Yeah, I mean, Cobb's supposed to be
with him?
In the slot, it sounds like right now. But there's Scantling's had one of the best camps he's had. I think he's got to see the field. They have Lazard, who was good last year. Like, they got guys. Like, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I think Cobb's going to be in the slot. As far as Tonyan, though, I like other guys more, so I'm not going to go there this week. I wouldn't call anyone dumb for it or something. He'll be low owned, but I don't think the upside's enough this week with Kittle, Kelsey, Pitts is way too cheap. And then, I mentioned Logan Thomas. He's my pivot right in that range. Jonnu Smith, too. I think Jonnu Smith has a pretty good year this year. He's only 4-1.
I think we can get creative with our lineups. There's going to be a lot of value, of course. And to get Kelsey in there, for me, he's just so much better than everybody else. And then Kittle's right behind him. Kittle's level 2. Now, Kittle's going to be much more popular, at least on DraftKings. He's $2,000 less than Kelsey. I mean, I'm looking Kittle straight in the face going, that is what happened? Did we forget how great George Kittle was before he got injured last year?
So good. I have so much in best ball. He's so good.
What are we doing here? Why is he now he's just a guy? No, he's not. Rubio, George Kittle. Give me some George Kittle love, please.
I mean, he's the second best tight end in football. How easy is it to like him and stuff? But we kind of look back and I don't know. Is there enough mouths to feed, like you said? And are they going to throw the ball enough? I think 6.3 is definitely cheap enough to take the risk, but I don't know. I think there's merit to kind of look, a little bit lower and a little bit higher, but definitely like Kittle a little bit.
Love Kittle. So who are your guys this week, Rubio?
It's hard to get out of the range. Anyone just wants to spend up for Kelsey, they have my respect. I always like, spending up for tight end and stuff, but we have Logan Thomas, like Title touched on earlier, Kyle Pitts, and I even do Bob Tonyan a little bit, and even Dallas Goedert and stuff. But if I'm going to kind of shake up the 8 ball that we have here, Irv Smith is out. Tyler Conklin actually showed out with 3, 4, 5 catches a game last year when Irv Smith was down. So I think if you need to save the salary, which is entirely possible, I'm building lineups right now as we speak where I need $1,400 in salary. I think Conklin could be that salary relief in that he can really kind of make you have a creative lineup and, way less stress on your, wide receiver part of your build or your running back part of your build. And I think it's really kind of nice to look at. And I think if, looking as a counterpoint to Title's opinion on Tonyan, it's so easy to have Kamara. It's so easy to have Callaway in your lineup. Why not just throw Tonyan in and, Jameis and have an entire game stack in there?
I don't mind the Tonyan thing. My thing about the full punt Conklin, do you think he has enough upside to win a GPP with Kittle, Pitts, Hawkinson, Kelsey? Do you really I just don't. I think one of those tight ends, I don't know. And I mean, it makes you different. He'll be low for sure. But do you think he has it? Because one of these tight ends is going to go for 102, I think, and absolutely break the slate, and you'll need him. And it could even be a Tonyan. It could be Logan Thomas. It could be Noah Fant. There's just so many guys. Do you think he has it? And if he's 5 catches, 50 yards, 2 touchdowns, that could be enough. Does he have that upside, do you think?
Yeah, it comes down to the touchdown dependency thing. But, you kind of look at, Conklin and his limited time and stuff like that. He did have a touchdown last year, and I definitely think, his safe hands and stuff where I think I'd be satisfied with 8, and it allows for the upside at other positions too, where I think 8 would be the kind of the number that I'm going to, set at bare minimum. But you're looking at tournaments. I think if he catches a touchdown, let's say that 8 turns into a 14 or a 15, I definitely think that's enough because it allows me to get, a potential Devontae Adams with Kamara and McCaffrey, and you can kind of have a nice little game stack in New Orleans and stuff. And I think that you kind of look at what it allows you to do rather than the individual position. And that's kind of where I'm thinking it helps me in other spots rather than it helps me just, save a little bit of salary.
I think it was a great explanation. The only thing with Conklin is, let's just say, and I'm with you, Rubio, but if Kelsey goes off this week for freaking, 25, 30, and Conklin gets you 6, you've got now you got to make
0 chance
25 points everywhere else, and that's
you
not
won't
an
win
easy thing to do.
A GPP.
Yeah, that's very fair.
But that's a ceiling game versus a 6. So a
ceiling game for Kelsey. Well, then what's a floor? What's a floor?
Not a ceiling game, but you're saying a really good. If Kelsey got you 15 and Conklin got you 6. Then you're perfectly fine.
You wasted money on Kelsey if you only get 15. That's a complete waste of a roster spot. Yeah.
But he won't kill your lineup. You can still Elijah Moore at 3K could get you 25 still, and because there's enough value, but you're not winning it. You don't want 15 from Kelsey in tournaments.
No, you can't have it. You're dead. He's your wide receiver 1 or
you're dead for first place. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Title, anybody down low? You want anybody else, or just get out of here?
I'm not going to pay below 4K for anybody. I just think there's too much upside. If people aren't gonna play Kelsey, like that's the thing. It's only Wednesday. We have to monitor ownership. Ownership changes. A lot of people go on podcasts from other shows, and ownership gravitates to certain spots. If people aren't paying up for Kelsey, I'll pay up for Kelsey. I just think it's that easy. And then I'll play Mahomes, and then I'll just run the Chiefs stack. I'm gonna have Mostert in one team. Kittle's gonna be owned. Pitts is gonna be owned. So I think right now Kelsey and Logan Thomas are my favorite 2 tournament tight ends right now, honestly, because I think Kittle and Pitts get the ownership.
Rubio, who's your number 1 overall play as we sit here and tape this on a Wednesday night? Overall, CMC?
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, of course. Number 1 title?
Lamar.
Kamara. Oh, Kamara. I was going to say, you didn't talk about Lamar. Kamara this week. Are they even on this slate?
They're tomorrow.
I was going to say, I haven't seen any Lamar. Monday night.
Yeah, that's why Lamar. Kamara, you just think he's getting even more work now.
Yep, and I like picking on this Packers team. I think it's going to be a really fun football game. Kamara is one of the best. I think he's 1A, 1B with McCaffrey. His talent, I just think he absolutely smashes.
I'll have both.
I'll have 100%. Yeah, I'll have 100% Kamara. He's going to be in every tournament lineup, every cash lineup I play.
Real quick question.
Yeah.
Before we go, Cowboys or Bucs? We got to get our predictions on the first game of the year.
I'm going
Bucs defense.
He's my number 1 play. Anyways,
Kelsey, I like it.
Yeah, Kelsey's my guy. I'll have him in 3 of my 5 lineups. Packers. Oh, you want to bet from it or what?
I just want to hear your opinion. I'm doing the playbook and stuff like that. I think the Bucs kind of dominate.
Bucs defense is going to swarm them.
See, I'm in the camp that I think they're great against the rush, and last year they got hot during the playoffs, and they were mediocre at times during the regular season, especially against the pass. But the Cowboys' offensive line with some problems, I still think they'll be able to put up points because Dak is back. What he showed last year in that small sample, now CeeDee Lamb has a year under his belt. Zeke is apparently like in shape again, and he's looking good. Even if it's not him, Pollard can get involved. Who I'm interested in seeing is Blake Jarwin. I want to know if Blake Jarwin is still a thing. Because at this point in time, this week going into the season, Blake Jarwin was the hot tight end. Like he was the next great tight end. Well, Dalton Schultz had a nice showing, but I want to see it. I think there's enough offensively for the Cowboys. We're doing this on the show today. Keg was saying, hey, 21 over 20. I got him over 20 and a half. The Cowboys over 20 and a half. And the game could easily go over too. I mean, the Bucs offense should be able to steamroll. Tom Brady is going to be back in the MVP discussion this year if he throws for 45, 47.
No.
I'm telling you right now,
no,
if that team goes 15-2 and he's thrown as much as he was last year, he's in the discussion. Yes.
He won't be. That's all I'm telling you.
Okay.
15-2, my God.
Why not?
He's not. First of all, they're not going to do that. And
why?
Their defense is going to carry him. Tom Brady will not have the
defense. They're going to carry him. Antonio Brown's going to carry him.
You're buying into the hype.
Wow. All right.
There's no hype. That's just a great.
What do you mean? There's hype. Everyone keeps saying that. Coach is saying 3 to 5. He was Antonio Brown 3 to 5 years ago. He's back. I see all his hype on my Twitter.
His props are high too.
But he's not. He wasn't AB in a Steelers prime.
He's Brady's guy. All right. So, anyways, that's my take on the game. I think it's high scoring. The Bucs win, but the Cowboys scored points.
I'm different. I think Bucs defense shuts him. The guy I'll have most of on the Cowboys is Amari Cooper. I'm very high on him this year. He's got to fix those drops, but he's always open. He's always open. He has, Can he catch the ball? Hopefully, I'm banking on that he does this year. I have a lot of him in best ball too.
Rubio, what are you doing in the playbook right now? What's your thoughts?
Bucs kind of get up early. Cowboys trail the entire game, which means their entire passing attack is, in play. But I'm really struggling at running back for the Bucs. Do you play Ronald Jones? Do you play Fournette? And that's kind of such a gross situation because Gio Bernard's there at 2K too. So it's kind of a can of worms with the Bucs, but I think they kind of steamroll for the most part.
All right, cool. Awesome, guys. Good to be back with you. The NFL Spread, a.k.a. the Young Guys Podcast. Yeah, you too, Gregory Swinehart. And, of course, Titletown. I can't say your first and last name. You take offense to that?
Who are you talking to?
You.
Oh, You're the one that flipped me off. Me, right? You patronized me.
That was no patronizing you. I think you have a wonderful name.
You're right. That was no
What's your middle name? What's your middle name?
Brian.
Well, that's a nice name too. Why are you blushing?
What?
Why are you blushing? Are you ashamed of your name?
How am I blushing?
I
just naturally am a little bit red because I went out in the sun for a lot this past week.
Oh, that's what it was. All right, no picnics this week, right? 0 picnics.
Yeah, no picnics this week.
Where was your last date with your girl?
We went to 8 Up across the street. There's this nice little bar up top. And we went out, and I forgot my wallet, so I had to run to my apartment and back.
Good story. So glad I asked you, Rubio. All right, Title. Take care, buddy. Always good talking to you.
You as well.
Uncle T. Yeah, Uncle T, go screw yourself. And then don't forget RPS NFL 15% off the lifetime of your monthly subscription. For Rubio, for Titletown, I'm Holden. Simon, get us at, hold on, Simon's not even doing this. Bye-bye.
Taking the victory lap here with our boy Big T. Massive takedown PGA last night. Shipped the Millie.
The Twins got the job done for our boy Hoop. Won him $100K. Won him a live final seat.
JSU shipped $200K on, I think, just $1,000 worth of entries. He had a monster night.
Anytime we see members crush like this, we're excited.
Last night, one of our most loyal subscribers from the beginning, Jay Love, took down $20K.
I want to give a shout out to Redmen, who won over $50,000 on opening day.
Blind Bandit took down the $100,000 top prize.
We had someone win a live final seat.
It was one of those days where it's like going 5x or 10x on your money. It wasn't enough to get enough love in the Discord.
Record 62 took down the Millie Maker.
I don't even know if this heater's ever going to end.
Some of these other sites are just boring you to death.
I like how other sites nickel and dime you for every penny they can get.
Tons of the members have given tickets and membership on their own. Like, we're not telling them to do that. They're just doing it for good mojo.
You love to see it. We love the good mojo. And
The mojo is what the mojo is. I give you credit for still having that hat on. We appreciate it.
Wait till we ship tonight. I might never take it off.